I think the main thing we do, big mosquito. Oh, I got him. That's going in the outtakes, I can tell.
All right, welcome to another frequently asked question video. This is where we set up the camera. It's a real basic video and we answer one of your questions. And so today's question is,
where do we find Wi-Fi? I couldn't remember what we were doing. Wi-Fi, yes. How we get internet on the road.
Look, both of us, we work on the road, and so Wi-Fi is necessary, whether it's from our cell phones or maybe it's finding a place in town to work. We have to find Wi-Fi, and a lot of times it can be hard, but a lot of times it's pretty easy too.
Yeah, there's not really one direct answer of this is how we find Wi-Fi, because truth is we find Wi-Fi in like 20 bajillion different ways. So we're gonna give you guys the few main ways that we consistently find Wi-Fi. So number one is a hotspot. I think this is how people think we find all of our internet, and it's not. In fact, it's probably the smallest part of our internet. Yeah. We have Verizon, which is, from our experience, has been the most reliable nationwide. We have a 25 gig a month hotspot, which is not that much. I have 15 gigs on my phone. He's got 15 gigs on his phone. And then we have 25 gigs on our hotspot, equaling 55 total gigs of hotspot a month. So
using the hotspot, it's a good service, like when you're just kind of surfing the web and you're tethering it to your laptop. But if you have, like me, I have a lot of big files that I have to upload sometimes for different clients. I could go through that hotspot within a day, and I think we have one time.
We've accidentally left Dropbox open on our computers before when we turn them on, and it's like Dropbox is, or the hotspot is gone like that. It's crazy fast. And even though we have 55 gigs of hotspot data a month, after that we still technically have some. It's just throttled, and sometimes depending on where you're at, the throttled speed is not that bad.
Yeah.
And other times it's pretty much like completely gone. Go into it knowing you can't do everything on a hotspot. It's not good for uploading, downloading, or streaming. Don't do those things on it or it'll go fast.
Yeah, no Netflix, no Spotify, nothing like that.
We should mention, the main reason we do have a hotspot, because really it's expensive for how little data you get. The main reason we have it though is our security system runs off the hotspot. We have to have a Wi-Fi connection to be able to use the camera and be able to use like the thermometer, the temperature detector, where it notifies us.
So before you go to the comment section and say, why are you using Verizon? Why, there's other companies out there. Look, we know and we have heard you, and we're actually looking into other services to maybe enhancing like our hotspot situation.
Yeah, a lot of you guys have actually reached out about unlimited data hotspots and stuff like that that you use, whether you live in like, somebody reached out and they said they use it full time at their home in Arkansas or something.
Yeah.
We're looking into that. We have a contract with Verizon, which is part of the reason why we haven't jumped at that yet, but I think we're gonna pursue it soon. Number two, coffee shops.
I love coffee shops. I love getting good coffee, and I love being at like these really cool hipster coffee shops.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
But unfortunately, a lot of those hipster cool coffee shops aren't reliable for when it comes to the internet sort of things. And so, in fact, we were at this one like really hipster coffee shop, and I asked if they had Wi-Fi, and they were like, we don't support that kind of thing here. So so if you're looking for good internet, a lot of times there are tons of great coffee shops all around the country that have great internet, but it's not as reliable. And so if you have to go to a Starbucks, which most likely you probably will, that's probably the most reliable coffee shop around the country that I know of that has
consistently,
that consistently has good internet.
Unfortunately, but there is an app that we use. Shout out to our friend Sadie for recommending it to us. It's called Cupper, C-U-P-P-E-R. I'll link it below. Cupper's a newer app, but essentially all it is you find like craft coffee shops, like craft coffee roasters, I guess is a better way to say it, all around the country. And one of the things they list on there is if it's conducive for like working. So like how good the Wi-Fi is, if it's good for setting up shop for the day or whatever. So we'll link that below. We've used that. It's not super reliable outside of major cities. There's not like a ton of options yet, but I think they're constantly adding that. So check it out. It's a good app. That's how we found some really great coffee shops around the country. And part of what we budget for, and we would highly recommend you doing the same thing if you're heading out on the road and doing some work, is allow for a coffee budget. Don't just go and steal Wi-Fi. Pay back. It's a local business. Support local when you can. And yeah, try to find some good internet. It's a good way to keep you sane. Number 3, Whole Foods.
Ooh.
Whole Foods, it's a national chain now, so you can't say it's local or anything like that, but Whole Foods is one of our favorite things across the country when we can find it, and we're going to tell you why. One, they have free Wi-Fi, and it's always been really fast for us. So I don't know, we've been to several now, but it's a great place if you've got a lot of work to do. What we found ourselves doing is we'll go in the morning, get a coffee, work for a little bit. When we get hungry, we'll go get a smoothie, or we'll go get a salad at the salad bar or something like that. And it's like a place where we can go, and it's not that expensive to get food. Like, it's cheaper to eat there than it is to eat out. Like, I can make a better salad at Whole Foods than I can in the van for less, you know? So that's the kind of thing we like to do, is we'll go and we'll camp out there, but we're also buying, and we'll even get some groceries. So it's a good way to like knock out a bunch of stuff at one time. Oh, and we can pick up our Amazon Prime packages. Like, if we've mailed something to ourselves, they have Amazon lockers at Whole Foods. So if you're interested in how we get mail, we have another video we'll link up here.
That's a good little segue.
Woohoo!
All right.
I'm getting better at this.
So Whole Foods, it's a great way. Like, honestly, for working environment, bring some headphones and you're good to go.
Number 4.
Parks.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of like public parks around the country actually have free public Wi-Fi, which is kind of odd. Not always the fastest, but if you're just, surfing the web, trying to do some blog updates, that kind of thing, it's great. Places like Seattle, even my hometown, Chattanooga, like the main parks in the city have free Wi-Fi. So it's a great place, even if you're just parking out in your van. Like, you can go and, pick up Wi-Fi from your van sometimes.
Yeah, it's been great. So
it's a nice way to hang up the hammock and get some work done, actually.
Yeah, and so like Sarah said, it's probably not the fastest, but it'll do.
Number 5.
Rest areas, travel centers, and
visitor centers.
Oh, yeah.
So this is really great, especially when you're at a national park or something like that. So right now we're outside of Glacier National Park, and in Glacier there's not Wi-Fi or cell signal, but the visitor center actually has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So if you're in need of, you're about to go out for a hike, or you're going backpacking for a couple days, but you forgot to send that email, go to the visitor center and you can use their free Wi-Fi. So that's really nice in a pinch.
Yeah, and we used it a lot when we were in Canada, when we
a
pulled
lot
into
of
towns.
A lot of visitor centers.
Yeah.
Number 6. Wow, we have a lot of points.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Co-working spaces. So if I'm in a pinch and I need to get a lot of work done, I will get a co-working space in whatever town or city I'm in. Now, most co-working spaces, they have like a day pass that you can pay for. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, you can just come in for free for the first day. And even if you're passing through, they don't mind. It's, that's where you get a lot of...
Sorry, I don't know why I do that in every video. There's always a bug like right in front of my face.
So that's where
Nature. Sorry.
So that's where you can get a lot of work done at a co-working space. It's quiet, fast internet. A lot of times they have free coffee and, drinks sometimes or something like that. So
yeah. So the way we look at it is you may pay anywhere from nothing to $25 a day, $30
yeah, about
a day.
20, yeah. Probably
That's
the high end. Yeah, probably the high end. Yeah, $30 would probably be the high end.
Yeah, but we get to write that off as a business expense. And if you are employed or self-employed, keep that in mind. You may be able to get your employer to cover that. You get free coffee. Some of them are dog friendly. So if you have a dog, like the other day we were in Montana somewhere. I don't remember where. Places start running together after a while. But we were in Montana and it was really hot and he had a lot of work to do. And there was a dog friendly co-working space. And we actually almost went there for the day to get a lot of work done. And it was air conditioning for the dog. So
yeah,
some nice perks. Like if you have a dog, don't steer away from them. Allow it.
And it's actually a pretty cool way to meet people within the community too.
Yeah.
Because people, like they have a little water cooler, you're just up walking around and you actually start talking to different people and find out what they're there for, what business they're running, and it's a good way to connect. So.
Yeah, learn a little bit about the community you're in.
Yeah.
Number 7. You want to say it?
Campsites?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do campsites.
Campsites. Okay, so we do mostly BLM National Forest. If we have to get a campsite, we try to do stuff like state parks, national parks, stuff like that. But if we're in a pinch, if there's nothing available, private campgrounds a lot of the times have Wi-Fi. Specifically like KOAs and stuff have pretty decent Wi-Fi that you can actually reach from your camp spot. So you're going to pay more money, but if you're really trying to knock out a lot of work and you don't want to leave the van, buy a campsite for the night. A lot of times they'll have like laundry, you'll get water, you'll get dumps. So you may pay $40 for the night, which is relatively expensive for a campsite, I feel like. But you're also not having to pay for dump water.
Yeah. Well,
Internet,
and you're not
coffee.
having to search for it, right? Like, so you're saving time by spending that money, because otherwise you could be wasting a ton of gas trying to get around town, and you know, your whole day's wasted.
Sometimes it's better just to pay the $40 or $50 for a campsite for the night, and you knock out all your chores, and you're not running around town like Chris said, trying to find free water or whatever. Number 8.
McDonald's.
So glamorous, guys. McDonald's isn't glamorous, and you can hate on McDonald's all you want, but McDonald's is a place you can go and you can pay $1 and get something and get really free Wi-Fi, honestly. And they're usually 24/7. Not usually. A lot of them are 24/7. So if it's late at night and you want to get some work done, you're just awake, McDonald's will be there for you.
Yeah. So. I mean, and a lot of fast food restaurants now are doing that too. Like Sarah said, it's not glamorous at all, but you know, if you have to get work done, it's there.
And it's usually pretty consistent Wi-Fi. So don't turn your nose up at fast food places. Just buy something from them. Don't just steal, but, you know, get some good Wi-Fi. So that's number 8. That's our in a pinch we will do. So our 2 rules that we like to abide by is 1, go local whenever possible. And 2, no matter where you go, always buy something. If you're somewhere like a restaurant or a coffee shop or, you know, something like that where they have a service, it's polite to say thank you and buy a muffin or a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would agree. I mean, we're living in a van, and yes, we do pay for our hotspot, but we don't have utilities. Like, we're not paying for electricity or anything else like we would in an apartment or a house. And so the least we can do is say, hey, thanks for letting us bum off your Wi-Fi for a little bit.
So that is 8 places you can consistently find Wi-Fi.
If you have a question about working on the road, or maybe you have another question about us living in the van or traveling or something like that, make sure you head over to letsbe.us/questions, and there you can ask us a question and we may answer it. So we want to know, if you live on the road or maybe you work remotely from your home, what's the best place for you to find Wi-Fi?
Yeah, we're always open to new ideas.
Yeah.
Getting a little sick of coffee shops.
Listen, I don't know what
I love coffee. I love coffee.
I mean, we love coffee, but sometimes you just sit in a coffee shop and it's just stale and it's, I don't know.
The worst is snotty baristas.
We don't support that kind of thing here.
Who says that? What is that kind of thing? I still don't get it.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next week.
Oh yeah, see y'all soon.
See you real soon.
See you real soon. Hey y'all, if you like the content you're seeing here on Let's Be Us, be sure to hit subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified when we post a new video up on YouTube.
And also, we just launched our Patreon, which we're super excited about. So if you like what you see and want to join the community, make sure you head over there and you can see everything that's happening on Patreon.
Yeah, no pressure. We aren't asking you guys to give if you'd like to. There is some exclusive content, some stuff like that out there. So check it out if you're interested in that. But I'm just glad you guys are here. So thanks y'all.